I thought we'd do the match update first, just to give you an idea of what our schedule is for providing match numbers to our comms, including to all of you. As you know, the match was the week of March 15th this year, the Monday following the match. So on Monday, students find out whether or not they matched. The SOAP, the Supplemental Offer and Acceptance Programs for students who don't match, then continued Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday for programs only. Wednesday and Thursday, students would find out whether or not they got a position in the SOAP. And then everyone found out where they matched on Friday. The following Monday, we sent a survey out to our comms, and so the numbers that I'm going to show you a little bit later are based on the 20 colleges that have already responded to our survey. But on that Friday, we received information about how many of our students matched in the match, not including the SOAP placements. All right, so the numbers that you see there, 6,327, are the number of students who matched in the NRMP match. We had 7,101 participants in the NRMP match this year from all of our osteopathic schools, about 500 more than last year. And that's about 2.5 average class sizes. So it was 2 new schools plus some class size increases had their first graduating classes this past year. That's sort of an average increase for us. I see that we're getting some questions in the chat. Will someone moderate those questions for me, and I'll make sure there's time at the end to answer those questions. Thanks.
Yep, you're good to go.
Thank you. So, the proportion of students that matched on the Monday of the NRMP match this year was very similar to last year. We were down about 0.9% from last year. The MD students were, we were down about 1.6% from last year. The MD students were down about 0.9% from last year. So everybody was a little bit down this year, including the international students as well. The MD students, this is about the 3rd year of having a decreased match rate. This is our 1st year of having a decreased match rate after about 5 years of increasing match rates. I have to say we were expecting some decrease this year because of the impact of COVID on interviews. The conventional wisdom is the group of students that were more likely to get interviews this year had a lot of overlaps in them between programs because interviews were done virtually this year. And so students didn't cancel interviews as they might have if they had to pay to travel to an interview site. And so we think that more of the same students were on more rank order lists. We'll know that in May when NRMP releases their final match data. Likewise, we release our final match data in May. Last year, we released it May 25th. This year, we're shooting for May 15th to release our final match data. That match data will have all these blank spaces filled in. So you can see we already have the numbers from the military match. We have the numbers from the other matches. The other matches are the 2 early matches for ophthalmology, and the San Francisco match, and then the NRMP match numbers. We'll have the SOAP numbers as soon as we get the responses from all of our schools, but I'm going to take you through the early responses in just a second, and then we can figure out what proportion of our students placed. This year, as you know, last year, the total number or the total proportion of students who found a residency position by the time we published our data on May 25th was 99.29%. So we're hoping for sort of 97, 98, 99% range. Again, that's where we've been the last 5 or 6 years. Now, a brief word from our sponsor. Keep in mind that 2 weeks from yesterday, the annual conference starts. I hope I get to see a bunch of you there. This is our awesome annual conference hall this year. You'll remember last year we had 3 weeks to change our conference from an in-person conference to a virtual conference. And so it was a lot of Zoom meetings. But this year, you'll find lots of concurrent sessions that you can go to in those session rooms. You'll find a bunch of posters. We have almost 100 posters in the poster hall, and I think about 40 of your students have contributed posters this year, which is a new record for us, so that's awesome. We have some social activities going on during the conference, including in addition to the yoga, which you've heard about, and so register for that, please. But at the end of the first day of the conference, Tuesday, April 20th, we're going to have a signature cocktail. So we'll be posting the recipe for the signature cocktail next week. Get your ingredients, and I'm going to learn how to make the cocktail from an actual bartender, and that is going to be terrifying. So please join me for that. So here's the preliminary SOAP data. We had 20 schools respond to the survey. Only about 15 schools gave us their SOAP numbers as a part of the survey. We will, we always reach out to the schools who didn't respond and collect all the data, and our schools are very cooperative in providing us that data. Many of you also serve on CSA, and some of you are the ones who provided us the data in the survey, and we appreciate that. Some of you are still have yet to provide us that data, and we appreciate you as well. We'll be reaching out to you soon. Your reminder will go out on Friday for that survey. So we had 5420 students in the survey. You remember we had about 7,100 students in the entire match. So 56 graduates seeking GME, 418 graduates in the SOAP. 273 of those graduates were in the SOAP because they matched only into a PGY 1 year and had to find the rest of their residency training in the SOAP, but they do have a position for next year. And then at the end of the SOAP, for those 15 comms who reported graduates, 15 campuses, I should say, who reported graduates in the SOAP, 51 were still seeking GME at the end of the SOAP. That's a little bit higher than the same number of comms. If the same number of comms had reported last year, 51 would have been about 5 students higher than what they reported last year. But obviously, this is preliminary data. I'm just trying to give you a sense of where things are. And according to the data that we have right now, things are slightly worse than last year in terms of the number of students who got a position in the Monday match and the number of students who got a position in the SOAP, but not remarkably or even probably statistically significantly worse than last year. We'll send the survey reminder tomorrow. You might already have responded to our survey, in which case you won't get a reminder tomorrow if you're the survey person. We get the name of the survey person from the dean. If you think you're the survey person and you don't get a reminder tomorrow, please send me an email and or send Jamie an email and she'll redirect it to me so that we can make sure who's filling out that survey from your campus. And especially, we know that it's a pain for you to give us this data, so thanks for participating. You can see how important the data is both to us as a profession, but also to recruiting new students. We want to have a good match, so it helps us recruit new students.